Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Men on the Mountain. I want to start out by just saying I apologize for not uploading anything for the last couple of weeks. Just been super busy. My daughter's had volleyball tournaments several weekends. And the other issue is it just keeps snowing. I've lived in Cache Valley, Utah for 30 years now. It's the most snow I can ever remember in a winter. It just one storm after another, so it's tough to get anywhere. And the daytime temps very rarely have been getting above freezing, so even if I wanted to try and go fish a little bit, you're dealing with your eyelets freezing and just, super cold temps. So anyway, I apologize for not posting anything. A couple of you guys have sent me an email to kind of check on me and make sure I'm doing okay. I appreciate that, by the way. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm doing fine. It's been super busy with family things and with work things. And then again, the big issue is the weather. I can't shed hunt until May 1st. The whole state has been shut down due to the winter. Again, I understand why they did it. I'm not mad that they closed it. Certainly a little disappointed I don't get to get out. But anyway, I did want to do a review video for the Odepro KL 62 Plus hunting flashlight. I already did a video on the KL 52. I'll put a little card up in the corner if you want to go check that out. And I gotta say, I was blown away. I don't use a flashlight for hunting at night. You can't hunt at night in Utah, for the most part anyway. And so I've never really used them, but I could not get over the fact that I could see my target and take an ethical shot at 250 yards in the pitch black. Now, they say that you can see out to 400. I didn't really have a place where I could set up that far to shoot, but at 250, I would take that shot all day long. So they asked me to do a review of the next model up, the KL 62, very similar. The big difference is with the KL 52, you have to unscrew the head and change the LED bulb to change colors. Well, with the KL 62, you've got this selector switch right on the flashlight where you can change your colors without doing anything with the head. So it's got red, white, and green. Now the flashlight itself is aircraft grade aluminum. Everything fits snug. I was super impressed with the quality of the last one. The case that it comes in is fantastic. Everything fits nice and tight in the foam. They give you 2 batteries, and these batteries are rechargeable, so they include the charger with it. Here's your charger. They include a universal mount if you want to mount this on top of a gun that already has a scope on it, which is what I'm going to do. That's what I did the last time I tested this. So here's what that universal mount looks like. Then they also give you rings if you have a rifle that doesn't have a scope on it and you want to put it on rails. So you'll see those right there. Now I've already charged the batteries in this. It is snowing again right now, or it snowed most of the day. It may have taken a break. So I'm not going to shoot this tonight. I'm going to take it out tomorrow night and we're going to test it. And I'm going to have to test it from home because I can't get up into the area that I want to get to where I normally shoot my rifles. There's just too much snow. My truck won't make it up there. So what we'll do is I'll set a target up and I'll put one camera right at the target so that you can see how well it lights up the target. And then I will take pictures with the flashlight at, again, I'll do 100 yards. And this time I think I'll just do 100, 200, and 300. The last thing that I wanted to show you that comes with is this pressure switch. So if you want to take off the tail cap and instead replace it with this pressure switch, you can do that as well. And so that's probably what I'll show it with when I test it tomorrow evening. But looking forward to doing that test, looking forward to getting this video out for you guys. I know it's been a while, so thanks for your patience. If we can just make it through a few more weeks of this winter, maybe we can start getting out and getting in the outdoors. Who knows, I may try and do a snowshoe trip. But my daughter's got volleyball again this weekend, so that's going to be out. And then my daughter's got volleyball again the next weekend. So the videos are going to be a little few and far between here for the next few weeks. But hang in there with me, guys. There'll be some good stuff coming down the road. Before we do the test outside in the dark, let me go ahead and read some of these specs to you as well, just so you know everything it has on it. So I'm going to read you the red, the white, and the green. The output, the flood, if you have it on flood versus spot for the red's 120 lumens, the white is 540, and the green is 131. And then if you put it on spot, the red is 60 lumens, the white is 380, and the green is 70. The beam distance, if you put it on spot, that's what's really going to telescope it out there and get you that long distance. The red says 300 yards, the white says 586 yards, and the green is 376 yards. I mean, that's just amazing to me. And again, I would say based on the test I did on the KL52, it'll do that. The run time for the battery, the red will get you 2 hours and 20 minutes, the white 1 hour and 50, and the green 3 hours and 10 minutes. And I'm going to test this run time out, not on this video, but the shed season opens May 1st, which means at 12:01 on May 1st, we're allowed to hit the hills, and that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be a Sunday night, and at 12:01 a.m. on Monday morning, I'm going to be out there looking for sheds. So I'll have this flashlight with me, and I'll do a runtime test with 2 different colors. Now, I want to get as much runtime as I can, but I also want to see as well as I can. So I'll probably do the green and the white, and I'll give you an accurate runtime test on that video. All right, guys, we're doing the test on the Odepro KL62. This is on flood. That shed in our backyard's about 20 yards back there. Swing set. Hannah's playhouse, which you can see the snow is halfway up it. Same with the slide. It's got so much snow. All right, I'm going to switch this to the narrow beam here so that you guys can get a better feel for how far it goes out, and then we'll switch colors. I've got Jordan out holding the camera for me. We're going to go from flood to beam. And she's going to keep focused on that. And you'll notice it kind of turns more square when you get to the beam. And I can see clearly out to the end of that fence line, as I told you guys on the last video where I tested this. That's over 200 yards to the end of that fence line out there. So now we're going to go to green. I can still see the end of the fence line, but I would say not quite as easily. What do you think, Jordan? Can you see the end of that fence line out there?
Yeah, but not as well as the
Not as the white, right? Okay, we'll go back to white and now to red. I think the red, maybe I can see that fence line a little easier with the red and the green. It's pretty close though.
Yeah. That's red. White. And then green. Green. White. And red. White. And green.
Well, as you guys saw, I had Jordan just hold the GoPro, kind of focusing on herself, and then I stood back at 100 yards, 200 yards, and then lastly at 300 yards. You could see the white really well from all the way out at 300 yards. The green on that last one was pretty tough to see her. So at 300 yards, that's probably about as far out as you'd want to go with the green one. But anyway, very impressed with the Odepro KL62. I just like everything about the kit. The kit, everything's nice and tight. The end cap screws on tight, the head screws on tight. Nothing feels cheap. Everything feels well made. And again, I've never really used a nighttime hunting flashlight, but I have been super impressed with how far out that beam will travel. And I am really looking forward to using it when I kick off the shed hunting season on May 1st. So when I do that, we'll give you the run time. And that way you'll get an idea for how much time you get out of those 2 batteries that come with it. and I will put a link in the description that they sent me for that flashlight as well. I want to wrap this up with the Minute on the Mountain. We are up to the book of Ezekiel, and we're going to do Ezekiel 36, verses 26 and 27. Let me read it to you. God is speaking through the prophet Ezekiel. He says, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit in you and move you to follow my decrees and be careful to keep my laws. Then you will live in the land I gave your ancestors. You will be my people and I will be your God. He's talking about the new covenant that God's going to establish with Israel and how it's going to replace the old covenant. But it's also a picture of what happens when you and I, as New Testament believers, put our faith in Jesus Christ, that God gives us a new heart. And in that culture, heart wasn't just the organ that pumped your blood. Your heart was the center of you. It was the core of your very being. Jesus talks about that when he's talking with Nicodemus in John chapter 3, and he says, you know, unless you be born again, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven. In other words, you have to have a do-over. I have to give you a new heart. I have to change you at the core. And then our heart then becomes responsive and soft instead of stony. It doesn't mean we're perfect. We still continue to sin. We still continue to stumble after we put our faith in Jesus. But there's a tenderness and a softness in our heart now that we want to respond in obedience. We want to submit to his will. And he's the one who initiates that. He's the one who put that new heart in us. So even in that, we're just responding to the work that God has begun in us. So that's Ezekiel chapter 36. I hope you guys enjoyed that Minute on the Mountain. And again, very impressed with the Odepro KL 62. If you're looking for a nighttime flashlight or a hunting light, check them out, see what you think. Thanks so much for coming along, guys, and we will see you the next time we're out on the mountain.